Hello and welcome everyone. This is the Nevada Department of Education ATSI informational meeting. My name is Blakely Hume. I'm the lead on ATSI school designations here on the school improvement team in the Office of Student School Supports at the Nevada Department of Education. And so today we're going to go over everything related to ATSI, additional targeted supports and improvement. So remember, this presentation is available through PowerPoint. We have it recorded after the whole presentation. If you want to go back and look at the presentation in terms of the slides, that's fine, or you can go back and listen to it all over again, but go look at the presentation. Probably I would recommend slowly at your own leisure. So for today, in terms of the agenda, we're going to introduce the team, going to go over our mission statement, entrance and exit criteria associated with ATSI, responsibilities, resources, school visit criteria, and then we're going to finish off with calendar and some contact info. So I promise to keep it short, to the point, and useful and clear. And the presentation, I've got a bunch of writing on the presentation, but I tend to like to talk through the slides rather than just read. So I'll go slow and give you some summary points. That will be my voice. And then if you want to go back, you can get all the details and read every sentence, or you can even pause as you're watching it, read it through, and then listen to what I have to say. It's up to you. So let's get started. So this is our team, school improvement team here at the Nevada Department of Education. Great group of people working together. We work well together. We really enjoy each other's company. And you see some familiar faces. Our fearless leader, Dr. Jess DeLallo, who's our education program supervisor here on the SIT team. Dr. Susan Ulrey, you have Jen Smith. Dr. Ulrey and Jen Smith help me a great deal on a lot of the work that I do for ATSI. We oftentimes pair up and have supports from each other, and all the different members of the team can help out on any of these designations, but a great team to work with. And then there's me right there at the front. I handle ATSI schools, but I also here at NDE, I do charter supports and authorizing. I work with artificial intelligence, and then I have numerous other committees that I also work on as well. In terms of our school improvement mission, our team's mission is simple. We really want to partner with schools and the LEAs to make sure that the improvement is meaningful, that it's not mechanical. We know that in the past, the state has always been a big compliance issue. We want to be more than that. We don't want to just come in and check a box and say, hey, are you doing it correctly? We really have a big focus of building relationships and understanding the school context and sharing best practices and what it is you need. We don't want to just show up those checklists. And I think if any of you have had us on at your schools or in your districts, hopefully we've conveyed that information to you because we really mean it. So we want to show up with questions and curiosity and desire to help, and not just trepidation because the state's there. We really want to be able to help you as a team succeed. So looking at the ATSI entrance criteria, we'll dive right into that. Here's how the school earns an ATSI designation. Nevada calculates the subgroup population and performance using the NSPF index. And if any subgroup, let's say students with disability or economically disadvantaged students, any of those score at or below the 5th percentile statewide, then the school is designated as ATSI. So the intent is to make sure that we're lifting up all students. So you're looking over the slide, take my mouse and show you. Here we have not designated as, or meeting the following criteria, not designated for ATSI, significant subgroup of performance challenges lead to ATSI designation, and then we have what I just said, that it meets the criteria of calculating adjusted NSPF and following applicable rules regarding measures required for rating if one or more of the subgroups have adjusted NSPF score, and then the school is designated as ATSI. So again, you can pause here and read that a little more carefully so my voice isn't going over that. And then the next couple of slides are just some visuals that essentially says the same thing, that the school designated ATSI in the current year. The schools have a very low student performance group that on their own would lead to a CSI designation, and then it becomes ATSI. And if you looked at the graphic over the last couple of years, actually, 22-23, we had 167 schools had about 5 that exited, plus we had 35 that came in, so about 197 was the total. And then looking at the 2024, 197, and my little picture there is blocking it out, but I think we had a few less in terms of grand total, and that was designation for last year. This next year, right now, as we're coming up, we have a new designation, and that will be shared soon as well. So in terms of the new criteria designation, we have a new point that we have to address. So this year, there's these few changes, which is that under the updated business rules, English learners are temporarily excluded from the EL subgroup for accountability purposes. So that means that some of the schools may exit ATSI while others may remain identified under different subgroups. So if that sounds complicated, don't worry. You'll get your direct communication from us here at NDA or NDE if your LEA hasn't is affected or not. So I'll make sure that we'll keep in touch on that. And then not only that, I'm getting to the actual ATSI exit criteria. Exit is based on improvement over 3 years. So let's say that you have an identified subgroup and improves beyond the threshold, right? Then congratulations, you exit, good job. Now if another subgroup meets the criteria, that starts a new cycle. So we don't ding you with a new group simply because of the old group is doing better. Right? So it's a new cycle. And then think of it kind of like a treadmill in that regard. The goal is to keep you moving forward. We don't want to kind of stop the clock on you. So looking over here at the screen, if the school picks up additional flags, right, and those flags do not reset the timeline, so that's good. And if these new flags are present upon exit from the original ATSI designation, then the school will be redesignated as ATSI with a new student group, and you get a new 3-year timeline. So kind of starts over, right? So you could be exiting for one section and then have a new one. And this flowchart, this is just a graphic for those of you who are visual. ATSI flowchart. If you no longer meet ATSI designated criteria, either in the year designated or the current year, then you exit. Or if a school picks up additional flags, new student groups meeting ATSI criteria during its designated period, those flags don't reset the timeline. Or, however, though, upon exiting, school is eligible to be redesignated as ATSI with new student groups in the new 2-year or 3-year timeline. So, stated that a few different ways. Hopefully that's not confusing. As I said, you can read my notes or read the points on the PowerPoint afterwards. Let's look at school responsibilities. So schools, here, this is your plan. This is your point. Develop your school improvement plan. These are the things you got to do. Develop your SIP with your stakeholder input and analyze the data and address inequities. Post your stuff, post your plan online, and then monitor your progress. So basically, we're looking for transparency, accountability, and action. And your SIP, remember, it's a living document. You should be referring to it and utilizing it throughout the year. In terms of the LEA, what are your responsibilities? You districts, your role is just as important. For LEAs, the job is to guide and support, and you notify your schools. You help develop their SIPs. You're going to approve the plans. You're going to monitor progress. You're going to participate in technical assistance. Right? So you are going to be part of the whole process along the way. So think of yourself as the coach. You're helping your schools strategize. What about the SEAs? That's us. At the state level, our job is to identify the schools, to review plans, to monitor progress, and to provide technical assistance as needed. And one important note, NDE does not approve SIPs for ATSI schools. We're not in the driver's seat, so to speak. We're here to kind of help out. We're going to help you stay on track and on course in terms of what you're trying to do. I'm trying to go a little slower here so you can read these slides. But again, if I'm speaking too fast, just go ahead and either pause, or when you're all said and done, go back to the OSSS website and you can actually just download the presentation itself by itself. So what about supports and services? For supports and services, we're really kind of showing you in these next couple slides the flow between the LEAs and the state. From the resource allocation reviews to coaching and technical assistance, we're here to be able to support you guys. The LEA is going to review and approve. It's going to monitor progress. It's going to participate in our office hours, support principals. There's a lot of things that are going to go on with the LEAs.
We're not leaving.
We're just going to explore real quick.
We're trying
And
to.
there's a little noise outside my office. I apologize for that. In terms of the SEAs, let's talk about what the logistics are for you guys. Again, provide technical assistance, monitor, conduct virtual visits, SEA available, and collaborate with LEAs. And I'll get to our virtual visits in the next couple slides, but those are going to be the LEA and SEA supports. Now there is also the LEA expectations for Title I CRATE. So this is kind of the logistics. So specifically Title I, you're going to need to, you LEAs, you're going to need to download, complete, and then upload the ATSI assurance templates. Now ATSI and TSI in the next few slides, you're going to see that they're both on all these slides because they're very similar. But for you people watching this presentation, just focus on the ATSI. It's just the same process. You'll find these under the component C, item 2. Excuse me. And the assurance will be signed by your superintendent or assigned authority thereof. So basically, if it's not signed, it's not submitted. It has to be signed and submitted. And here's an example of the screenshot, which I have on the screen for the Title I. And you'll notice next few slides, again, that language of ATSI and TSI are put together because it's the same process. Next slide is that the LEA expectations in Title I, the assurance template, right? ATSI assurance template. This slide is going to focus on the ATSI assurances. So look at the template there. After you click on the component C, you'd see this page, and the ATSI schools are mentioned in the middle of the page. Look under that header that says templates and notes, and you'll see the ATSI and TSI assurance templates. Again, one and the same. When you hover over the mouse over the template, you'll see that pop up view, and then you can download the template. And if you've worked with these before, then you know the drill and you know what you're supposed to do. So please make sure you use the most recent version of the upload in the current location. It helps us to be able to provide accurate documentation, consistent, to be able to easily locate. The next one, LEA expectations in Title I CRATE in terms of the assurance and the exit of ATSI schools. For LEAs with exited ATSI schools, please upload a list of these schools in Title I CRATE under the same component area. This ensures that we can maintain the accurate records and progress and transition, that kind of thing. And then lastly, calendar note, by June 30th, LEA should upload their list of exited ATSI schools, and we'd love to hear your feedback on that. Does that timeline work for you? Let's hope so. Let us know if it doesn't, see what we can do, but we want to make sure that this deadline aligns with your internal processes and procedures and doesn't unnecessarily give you any pressure. We know that as the end of the year comes, you guys have so much to do. And some of you districts, my goodness, we know you wear 16 hats, and some other districts are so big that you have so many schools. So we are aware of those pressures upon you. So please communicate with us. Well, let's talk about school visit criteria. So the school visit criteria for ATSI is a virtual visit. ATSI schools in their second or third year may have a virtual visit, especially if the subgroup data shows stagnant or downward facing trends. So last year we had something like in the 90s of schools, and we visited maybe 35 of them or so. This year, my expectation is I will hopefully visit a few more, and we have more schools. So we will do our best, and I'll show you in the programmatic calendar slide comes up in the next few slides when we're going to be visiting you, and I'll have a poll for you to answer. You'll be able to select a time, and it will be throughout the year, so that will be the goal. But my hope is to visit more schools this year. So now, if you don't need, you can request a face-to-face. You don't have to have that, but if you really want it, let us know, and we'll do our best to accommodate you. So proposed calendar dates. So these are important. So looking at the calendar here, you can see September, October, November, December. We've got in October the start of virtual visits. between October and April, we'll do virtual visits, and they'll be at different times in the month. Maybe in the middle, maybe at the end. I will generally be blocking off a full week and a few hours each day. So throughout the course of the year, there should be plenty. However, I am going to start with November and may try and put some in October, and we'll definitely have January, February, March. So please, if you have time, I know probably the tendency will be, let's see if we can put the state off. If you can do it early, do it and get it over with. It's not long, less than 45 minutes. It'll be a virtual visit, discussion, and I'll send you some information ahead of time. And then other dates to remember, 18th and 21st of November is the SIT Collaborative, and the 30th is the SIP Check. And then continue to look at January, February, March, and April. We'll obviously take a break for the December because I know that's a tough time with the holidays and what have you. And then we'll get going in January. But we have the SIT Collaborative meetings throughout, if you can see those dates. And we also have virtual visits throughout all the way till April. And we have different status checks. If you see there, 24th, 27th, or the 28th, status check 2. And then we have on the 25th of April, status check 2 as well. So we have various things going on in the calendar to be able to support you if you have questions. That slowly is wrapping us up here. In terms of contact information, this is the whole team. There I am at the top, but feel free to reach out to anyone. Dr. Susan Ulrey has worked on ATSI. In fact, before I came on the team, she was the one who was designated and worked with ATSI, so you could also reach out to her if you want to ask her a question, or Jen Smith. Those two have helped me a great deal. But as I said before in the initial slides, we all tend to help each other on everything. So if there's anything you need help with, feel free to reach out to us. I imagine these days email is probably the best. You could call, and oftentimes we will have numbers associated with our emails. But send out an email. We'll send up a virtual. Oftentimes Teams is one of the ways that we communicate, but we could do other ways as well. So you just let us know. We want to make sure that we're responsive to you, that we can communicate with you, and we can make sure that your needs are met. And so here would be the point where we'd start asking questions. But again, this is recorded, so we don't need to do that at this point. But I would say you could take a pause. You could go back. You could look over the slides, make some notes, ask some questions, and then send an email and ask those questions. And if you want, we can set up a virtual or a Teams, or we can respond through email, whichever is best for you. And we just want to say thanks. This is our official close. Please scan the QR code and it will record your participation, and then reach out to us with any questions. We know that you are all incredibly busy, and we really appreciate what you do for our kids in Nevada. So thank you for your time. Thank you for the work that you do for our kids, and thank you for trying to bring education to the greatest opportunity and the highest level of excellence for our Nevada students. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.